Thanks for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got a dropshipping business for sale in the beauty niche. Created in March of 2015, this business makes $5,504 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 45114. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Isaac, thank you for coming on here today. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. I am very excited to discuss this business with you, but before we get to the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business.
Sure.
Again, it was started in March of 2015, has a monthly revenue of $43,876, expenses of $38,372 to make for a net profit of $5,504, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in sale of this business are the primary domain and all site content and files, Shopify account, email list, social media accounts, several subscriptions for business tools, SOPs, and video training. Isaac, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in e-commerce for about 4 to 5 years now. I started with another store that I sort of learned the ropes on and eventually decided to build a new store, which in 2015, which turned into what we have now. Yeah.
I mean, really though, why did you settle upon dropshipping as opposed to something else like Amazon FBA?
So why did I decide on dropshipping instead of Amazon? Well, let's see. I joined a course back in, I think it was 2014, that was teaching how to do dropshipping. At that time, I didn't really know anything about Amazon FBA. I just knew that I was excited by e-commerce in general, and I didn't know enough to know how to do it. So the first legitimate course that I came across was about dropshipping. And so that's what I've learned, and that's kept me going and kept me excited this whole time. I have been interested in FBA a little bit over the years and dabbled a little bit, but nothing took off quite the way my dropshipping business has. So I'm still with it.
But now you've decided to sell it. So why is that?
Well, I've been running this store for a little over 3.5 years. I guess a little more if you count the pre-launch work that I put into it. Yeah, I've gotten it to a pretty good point. I'm really satisfied and proud of what I've done, especially the growth in the last few months. And I'm just ready to do something else. I'm really excited, like I said already, about e-commerce, and I still have that passion, and I want to put that passion into something that I'm a little bit more excited about, the niche, something that resonates more with me. Other reasons are I have a family, and I'd like to take some money off the table so that I can do some personal investments and also take a little bit of time off at the end here after the sale so that I can just sort of regroup and think about what's next.
When you look back over the last year at the numbers, something you notice with this business is the last couple months, you've seen some pretty massive growth. So what's been going on the last couple months?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I know we're going to talk about growth opportunities, and I think really that's a demonstration of one of the opportunities that we'll talk about. And so I might as well just jump into that one. Basically, what happened is I have all of these suppliers who, of course, I sell their products. And one of them, I talk to them all every now and then and keep up our relationship. And one of them told me, hey, there's some products, you sell a lot of these kinds of products really well. Why aren't you selling this brand? They sell really well too. And I said, oh, really? Well, I just didn't know that. And I asked him what were a few top sellers in that brand. And he told me, and so I thought, okay, well, let's spend a little time and energy optimizing those products. So I did. I spent, a week or so optimizing the products, the product listing, the pages, the descriptions, the images, the offer, and fine-tuning some advertising around those products. And they very quickly, within a few weeks, turned into some of our top sellers. So that was really exciting to see. So that's one thing that I've done that, if you, it's a kind of a no-brainer that if you add more items into your top sellers, that creates massive growth for your business. And so that was only 3 or 4 products. I think 2 of them are really the standouts. So I did that. I've also spent a little bit of time sort of fine-tuning some of our ad campaigns. And yeah, I think those 2 things really contributed to a lot of growth in the last few months.
So walk me through your day-to-day with this business. What does Isaac have to do to keep it running?
Sure. So, what is actually required is not very much. You can sort of go on vacation for quite a while. So I do have an assistant who is fantastic. She basically takes care of everything, the day-to-day running of the business. She does the customer service, the order processing. If there are any issues, she's able to handle them. And so really what I have left to do is I check in with her once a day, usually. Unless I'm on vacation or something, I might check in less often and answer any questions. But really, there's not usually a whole lot of questions. It's just more social time and keeping that personal connection and relationship up. Other things I do are, maintaining the ad campaigns. We do a lot of Google ads and Facebook ads. And so I make sure that those are, running well, providing a good ROI, and adjust as we go along. Other things I do are maintaining relationships with suppliers, and that's not a super regular thing. I might give suppliers a call once a month or twice a month or whatever is necessary. If there are any questions that suppliers have that aren't really related to orders specifically, I'll talk to them. Other things are just planning growth. So looking at, like I mentioned, the products that I optimized that contributed to the growth of the last few months, that's some of the stuff that I do. And that's not a regular thing, although you could really spend a lot of time if you wanted to and focus on doing that, creating more of these top sellers. So you could spend as much time as you want on that. I haven't spent a lot of time. So yeah, those are pretty much the activities that I'm sort of responsible at this point.
So then quantifying that into a number of hours per week, what would you estimate?
I think, not every week is the same, of course, but I think if you were to average it out, it could be about 5 to 6 hours a week.
Where does the majority of your traffic for the business come from?
So we do a lot of PPC advertising, and the majority of that is Google Ads and especially Google Shopping.
And then you say majority, so do you have any other traffic sources?
Yeah, so our traffic mostly comes from PPC, but also we get a fair amount of organic traffic. We've done quite a bit of content through our blog, and that generates, highly targeted traffic coming to the site. So I'd say between Google Ads, we have experimented with Bing ads, but we're not really using those right now. Yeah, between Google Ads and organic traffic, that's the bulk of our traffic.
What do you feel are some of the major opportunities for growth for this business?
Okay, yeah, this is exciting. And as I mentioned already, it was optimizing products have contributed to really good growth. So that's not theoretical, that is absolute, and it's demonstrated. And so, we have a lot of products on the website. And quite honestly, when I was growing the business, I tried to grow the business just by scaling the number of products. And I didn't put much effort into optimizing those products. It was basically copy and pasted from supplier websites. So there's a lot of optimization to be done on a lot of products. We have a lot of suppliers and a lot of high quality in-demand products that you can find a lot more of those products to focus on and really grow the sales of those, sort of like I did with these few that I mentioned. So that I would say is opportunity number one. Another big opportunity is I mentioned that a lot of our traffic comes from Google Ads, and quite honestly, I'm not an expert. I've just sort of learned along the way, taken a few courses, and I've done quite well with it. But if I were to continue, if I had decided not to sell and I were to continue with the business, one of the first things I would do is hire somebody to manage that. And I think somebody could get better ROI than I have. Another one, I've got kind of a top 5. Another one is adding new suppliers and products. We do have a lot of products, like I mentioned, and a lot of suppliers, but had the business over 3.5 years. A lot of suppliers have introduced new products, and we just haven't kept up with all of them. So there are a lot of products that you could add to the website. You could add new suppliers. There are still lots of suppliers out there, high quality, in demand suppliers and great brands that I just never reached out to. Another one, and I think this is a big one, is creating a sales funnel. Right now in the industry, there's nobody that I have seen that is getting customers into the top of the funnel. Really, everybody is sort of at point of sale. When the customer is ready at the bottom of the funnel, they try to capture them. And for the most part, that's what we've done as well. And it's worked very well. But I think if you could engage the customer before they're ready to buy, develop that relationship, and bring them down through the funnel, that would be a very, very big thing. And quite honestly, I have tried to do a little bit of this work, but I just don't have the skills and the knowledge to be able to put together a proper sales funnel. And if you have those skills, I think you could really, and you could just focus on a few key products, I think, to start. I could think you could really explode the growth of the business. So yeah, then I would say the last top 5 opportunity I would mention is SEO. And quite honestly, I haven't done very much SEO, even though I did say that we do have quite a bit of content that brings people to the site. I know there's a lot that goes into search engine optimization, and I don't know a whole lot about it. And there's a lot there that could be done. I do know that a lot of sites generate a large portion of their traffic through organic search. And I think I've done a little bit of keyword research, and the competition is quite low. So I think it would be pretty easy if you knew what you were doing to rank very highly for those sales driving keywords.
Do you feel like there are any potential risks associated with this business that a new owner should be aware of?
So, quite honestly, I don't think there is a whole lot of risk with the dropshipping store. And, that's because we don't send anything out unless we have received payment for it, and we don't hold any inventory. So there's not much risk there. And, in fact, I think this niche in particular is less risky than a lot of dropshipping stores. And that's because we don't really get fraudulent orders. We've actually never had a fraudulent order. And that's because of the nature of the items. They're going to businesses, and they can be large sometimes. And it's just not a high target for thieves, basically. So I think the main risk that I see is if the economy as a whole takes a downturn. But I don't think any business is free of that risk.
Would you commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
And how much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be there I know there's going to be a lot of questions. So I think the 30 days of email and Skype, I'm happy to provide that.
Are you open to negotiating on something like an earnout?
Yeah, I would be open to discussing that. Yeah, definitely.
Isaac, thank you so much for the time. I have one final question for you. So we've spoken a lot about, what the buyers may think of this, where the buyers can take this business. But let's pretend for a second that you're a buyer. So why do you feel like this is a business worth buying?
Yeah, I think that this is a business with a strong growth potential. And I think, it's easy to talk, right, about there's potential for growth. But I think that I've shown that in the last few months that you can just focus on 3 to 4 products and can generate massive growth just from doing that. And so there are so many other ways you could decide you want to grow that I think there's a lot of potential there. There's not much risk, and it doesn't take very much time to do the day-to-day running of the business so that you can focus on the actual growth activities. And the other thing that we have not mentioned at all is that I've really done everything that we do is highly systematized. There's procedures for everything, and it really just runs very smoothly. I think it's a great, great business.
Isaac, I really appreciate you taking the time to get on with me to discuss your baby with me. I mean, because really that's kind of what this is, right? You're
Yeah.
passing off your knowledge and your business here to someone. So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing page and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.